Hi, Sam. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview with us. I'm gonna ask you some questions. Hopefully you can give us some information for students about Madison County. So if you would introduce yourself and kind of what you do.
Sure. I'm Samantha Field. I'm the Public Information Officer for Madison County. That means I handle all of our social media, our press information. Currently, right now, I'm in charge of the call center for the COVID-19 hotline, working on making sure people know their information about their vaccine, testing, all the education materials going out there. And really day to day, I'm just the person who gets the information out to the public about anything the board needs, anything our departments need, and we have several departments here at Madison County.
So tell me maybe a little bit about just an overview of some of those, and then what kind of skills I might need to be part of those areas.
Sure. Here at the Madison County government, you can do pretty much anything. You can be somebody who works in our highway department. So if you're really skilled in mechanical and you've always wanted to drive a plow truck or a bulldozer, it's a great job. We have some very, very talented people over on, I say that because they're across the street. We have a mental health department, which consists of therapists. We have a DSS, which is Department of Social Services. So there are people there that help with child protective services or anybody who helps someone get social services, HEAP. And we also have obviously our Board of Supervisors. So that's more of our governmental body. They're the individuals who, our Board of Supervisors office works hand in hand with our Board of Supervisors. So with the town supervisors on making our laws, changing anything that may need to be changed, keeping everything running when it comes to the government. We have people in purchasing. So if you're really good with numbers and you'd like to shop, they do an amazing job, absolutely an amazing job. We have contracts through New York State, so they have to understand all of that. We have a real property division where there are people who excel at something called GIS. So it's mapping things and it's creating addresses and making sure 911 has those addresses. There's so much more involved in it. Then we have the financial aspect of it. So we have our treasurer's office where you pay your taxes, you pay certain bills. They keep track of all the money that's going in and out, which when I look at it, I go, I have no idea, but there are people who numbers is their life, and I'm so glad there are those people in the world because it's definitely not me. So we have the public health department. How could I forget about the public health department? They're our front line between COVID and the rest of the residents. Usually what they are doing other than COVID is, they monitor mosquitoes, they monitor restaurants for health codes, they do car seat safety, they do breastfeeding safety for moms. They do so many different things in our community. We talk about, dental hygiene in the community. We do a community assessment every 4 years of what we think the biggest health issues are in our community and how do we help our residents. Then we have obviously our sheriff's office. There's both the road division and the jail division. So if you want to be a corrections officer, you want to be a sheriff's deputy, there's so many departments. There's solid waste. If you're really into garbage, one of my best friends, that's all she does all day long is she talks garbage and educating the community on what recycling is. So there are so many different types of jobs you could get here at the county office building. I hope I hit everybody. Oh, probation, forgot about probation. And the DA's office. So you could go into the court system. There is so much you can do here.
Wow, that is a lot. So in general, do I need a high school diploma to do these services?
Yes, so you do need a high school diploma for the majority of the positions, especially white collar and even most of our blue collar positions. We do have some unions here at the county. We do have some positions like mine, which is management, and that's not a union job. But most positions, pretty much I would say 99%, you need a high school diploma for. You do not necessarily need college education, but you definitely need a high school diploma.
Great. And so with just a high school diploma, what are your salary ranges with that?
So our white collar individuals, which really begins at $16.06 an hour right now, and our blue collar begins at a little over 15. So, and then it goes up from there. And it just depends on what you want to do, what you want to go into, education, what kind of job it is.
So there's room for growth if I go on to education.
Yes, there is definitely room for growth here. There's people who I've talked to people every day. They started over in the personnel office. Oh, if you like HR, you can also be in the HR office. See, there's more and more every day. So if somebody started off in personnel, was like their first job, and they were like, you know what, this isn't really for me, but I enjoy what I'm doing. They moved on and did something else, and now they're the county administrator. So, and it just, everybody, and there's somebody who is actually in HR right now who used to be in real property. So there's room for growth. We teach each other things all the time. We're a team effort here. Like, we know everybody. We want to make sure everybody's being taken care of. And that's the kind of nice thing about, even though we have a large employment population and we're spread out, we're all kind of family.
Nice. So with that being said, do you check social media accounts for those of us that get hired for the county?
So there is no county policy when you are hiring or while you are employed with the county that we check your social media account. However, you should always assume, no matter what job you're going for, whether it's babysitting or becoming the president of the United States, you should always assume somebody is checking up on your social media account. It may not be policy for that job, but they will be checking your account. And even while you're at the job, you hear about it all the time. So-and-so, a teacher at this school said something and there's outrage, or, you hear it all the time. So somebody's always looking at your social media account, the many you may have.
Keep them clean, right?
Yes.
So if I wanted a job in any particular area, how would I go about finding that? Do I go to Indeed, LinkedIn?
Yeah, so we actually have them listed in several different places, such as Indeed, LinkedIn. We actually have a Madison County website. If you just go to madisoncounty.ny.gov if I'm looking at the computer, on the left-hand side, there's a bar that shows you jobs, and you can even look to find what jobs we have posted, what jobs are always hiring, and we also list their civil service exams. Because we are a government, we require a civil service exam for pretty much every job here. So you may get the job and then you may have to take your civil service exam after that, but they also have postings for civil service exams, and you can take those, and then you can get called when there's an opening for a job. They become a list within the New York State system.
Wow. Lot to that.
Yes.
So again, you've got many, many different avenues. Are there uniforms or tools, equipment that I might need to purchase on my own to come?
No, if you have to do a job here, we provide that. When I say we, the taxpayers provide that for us, obviously. So we can do our job to do that service. You don't have to necessarily wear a uniform. Depending on where you're at. If you're in the management position, we just, it's business casual, depending on the day. If it's a board day, I got to wear business attire. You really wouldn't have to necessarily wear a uniform per se, and we don't require you to purchase anything like that. And the equipment that you would be using for your job would be provided to you. Obviously, it's not your equipment, it is the county's equipment.
So maybe you could share with us a little bit of why did you and how did you decide to get to where you're at?
So I used to work in New York City at a television station, but I am originally from Oneida, New York. So I graduated Oneida High School. And then after high school, I decided I was going off to the big bad city and went to college and became a producer and for TV news. Did that for about 10 years. And when I decided to move home, I became a radio talk show host. And after that, I found this job. And I wouldn't be anywhere else. This is where I need to be and where I should be. It's the best job I've ever had. I got to see the world and I got to do what I wanted to do, but I love being back in my home area and helping the people of our community and make it a better community than it already was. I love living in Madison County. I love everything about it, and I love teaching people about the great things that the county does for them.
That's awesome. Well, those are all my questions, so I appreciate your time, and I'm sure the students are going to get a lot of information. You might be getting some phone calls.
That's perfectly
they
fine.
might have some questions, but thank you for your time.
Anytime.